Hi, I would like to frame our conversation for this discussion board since we're going to be talking about vulnerability as an element of leadership. If you haven't listened to the recording from the podcast of Brené Brown or watched the video from Martha Nussbaum's interview, I would suggest that you pause this video and then go listen to that and then come back because it'll make a lot more sense once you do that. So why vulnerability as leadership? On week one, we talked about being in the world from Heidegger's concept. And being in the world in a way that really puts ourselves on the line, right? That doesn't separate us from the world that we're trying to shift, but that it makes us part of the whole. And so when we start living our life in this way, it puts us, it makes our heart, it puts our hearts on our sleeve. Actually, not even in the sleeve, it puts our hearts out. We start doing what we deeply care about. And when we deeply care about something, it's very possible that you're going to get hurt. So one time a teacher told me that it's not possible to separate, to put a shell that protects your heart and only lets in the good things and not the bad things. When we shell our hearts, it keeps us away both from the joy and from the pain. It's not possible. So that keeps us separate from each other. So to begin to open up our hearts, it requires a practice of vulnerability, increasing our capacity to be vulnerable and to be with the pain of um, caring deeply about something. This might not sound fun to you, but you might have experienced it. For those of you who have children or who have been deeply in love, you know what I'm talking about. There is this incredible joy that comes with that, and then there's this incredible suffering of of things that happen when you deeply care about something. So I want to invite you to really take this space in this discussion board to reflect on what matters the most to you and in what ways do you feel vulnerable about that. In what ways do you uh, protect yourself from your own vulnerability, and in what instances you can have access to this vulnerability. As you start exploring your own vulnerability, you'll see the connection to the reading this week of Modeling the Way. In order for us to have credibility, to be able to set the example, to be clear about our values and be able to share them, we have to be able to connect truly with who we are. And we have to be able to honor that and put ourselves out there in a way that makes us vulnerable, that in a way that welcomes both the good and the bad. That also is the path for integration of our leadership. So I hope that we can have a good discussion about this week. And I want to invite all of you to take this discussion board with the most respect that you can have. I know that we've been very respectful in the past, but in order for us to be vulnerable, it requires for us to have a very safe container. So hopefully you feel safe enough to share in this cohort, in this group, what are some of the points of vulnerability for you, and how you see that connecting with your leadership and what you deeply care about. So with this learning, I wish you a lot of open-heartedness, and that with that, that it comes with a lot of joy, and that it also increases its capacity for holding your suffering. And in it is in the suffering that that connections are made, that transformation happens, that communities evolve, that we evolve. So I hope that we can get in touch with that this week. I'm going to share a song with you, one of my favorite ones from Leonard Cohen, which is Anthem. And I love the line that says, there's a crack in everything, and that's how the light gets in. So I hope that you listen carefully to that part of the song. There's a crack in everything, and that's how the light gets in. And that's really how I see vulnerability. It's painful, but it opens our hearts, and that's the only way in which we can see our own light and we can connect to others through their light. So have a good discussion, and I'll see you later in your comments. Thank you.